Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Keda and I'm back with a new video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, as always, thank you for tuning into your girl. Pretty much wanted to come on here to talk to you guys about my transition. I am 1 year in my new city. I moved to Las Vegas. A couple of you know and a couple of you probably don't know, but I wanted to touch bases on pros and cons of living in a whole new city, especially in Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you're interested in that, make sure you keep watching. So this is pretty much a pros and cons video. This is not going to be a video on why I moved to Vegas. I'll do a video on that soon, but I pretty much want to talk about the pros and the cons because a lot of people always ask me, why Vegas? As you all know, if you watched my Get to Know Me video, I am from Washington, D.C., born and raised in Maryland. Parents are Caribbean, but I lived in Maryland practically my whole life. At some point in my life, I knew that eventually I was gonna move to a whole new city and didn't know where I wanted to move, but I knew I wanted to relocate to a whole new city. We're gonna start with the pros with Vegas, and I'm just gonna touch, you know, the most important things that I find like it's a pro. Of course, there's many pros and cons, and people have their own opinions. Make sure you do your research if you're ever relocating to another city. That's the first thing you should always do, is do your research. One of the pros of living in Las Vegas is you don't pay any state taxes. I think that is such a blessing, especially coming from Maryland, DC area. It was just like they taxed for everything, and working, they were always taking out a chunk of my money out of my checks, and it just feels good to not have that state tax taken out of my check. Now, however, some people don't like the fact that there's no state taxes because they always look forward for that back during tax season, but I love that my checks are more now. I feel like that is a very important thing to know when you're moving to Vegas because a lot of people really don't know that there's no state taxes here. Another pro about living in Las Vegas, Nevada is that you don't get snow. It's the desert. However, it does snow in a certain part of Nevada. Nevada is very, very big, and Nevada does get cold, which a lot of people don't know. It gets cold here. Now, between the months of November through February-ish, that's when it does cool down, but it does not drop to like 20 degrees. If you live on the East Coast, you know it gets really cold. You would not experience that here, so that is definitely a pro for me. So another pro for me is not running into red light cameras and speeding cameras. If you live on the East Coast, specifically like the big cities near DC and New York and, you know, big cities, you may find yourself running into a red light camera and a speeding camera. Now, some people look at this as a con because there is a lot of speeding here in Vegas and reckless driving. We'll get into that, but you don't have to worry about running into those unnecessary high surcharge tickets that the state and county is charging you. In Maryland, I swear every time I got mail, it was nothing but tickets out the ass, and it was just depressing. And even when I got my mail forwarded to my new address, they were still sending me tickets, and I have not been there for a whole year. So being as though I'm in Vegas, we don't have no speed light cameras, we don't have any red light cameras, and I feel like that is just a load lifted off of me. So that is a big pro for me because coming from back home, baby, they was clicking nonstop, and I don't even know where these damn cameras were. Another pro is great weather. I know I mentioned that it doesn't snow. So the fact that it doesn't snow or rain here and you just have really good weather is such a pro for me because I know for a fact that I had suffered from seasonal depression. I am a January girly and I just hate the cold. The cold and me do not go together. I am a tropical girly. I love the sun. I love, you know, just having the sun hit my body. It just puts me in a good mood. And the fact that it's sunny here majority of the time year round, it just puts me in such great spirits. I love that about Vegas. Like, although it gets extremely hot, it's still sunny city. Like, you can go outside any day and the sun is gonna be shining. That is what I love most about this city. We're gonna get into the last pro, and if you guys have questions and you want to know some more things about Vegas, definitely comment below. I'll answer anything you guys want to know. I'm still learning myself, but I'll try my best to answer you guys questions. The last pro is pretty much having access to a lot of shopping centers and businesses, as well as a lot of job opportunities available. So what I mean by having a lot of access to businesses and stores, outside of the strip, there's shopping centers on every block. There are job opportunities everywhere in Vegas. I mean, there's not enough people. Everywhere is always hiring. There are so many casinos that are hiring, although that might not be the best field to be in, but if you ever decided to up and leave, just know that the casinos are always looking for people. So many businesses available, so many buildings to lease from if you wanted to start your own business. The stores and shopping centers are everywhere. Like, you have access to the nearest gas station. If one is out of gas, there's one 2 blocks down or a block down. Or if you need to grab a quick outfit, Target is right there. And if that Target don't have it, it's another Target around the corner. And there's Walmarts everywhere, Ross everywhere. A lot of people was asking me, how did I find my items from Ross? And they have good quality stuff, especially on the strip. Like, I love the stores out here. It is like top tier. So that is all my pros. That is just some of the pros, but like I said, if you have questions and you want to know some more things about Vegas, like the good side, definitely comment your questions below and I'll try my best to answer it. Now let's get into the cons, because Vegas got issues for real. One of the biggest cons for me, because I am a mom and people always ask me like, how is the school system, what's going on with the school system, would you recommend it, blah blah blah. And I'm here to say I do not recommend Nevada school to any parent that's deciding to come out here. If you can get your kids homeschool, private, or some type of academy or trade, definitely do that, because the county do not give 2 flying fucks about the kids' education. Nevada is actually ranked one of the worst states when it comes to education, and that is something I kind of knew ahead of time. So it's hard to say this because my kids pretty much have it implanted in them, their education, as far as what they've learned, because they did go to Montgomery County schools, which is one of the best counties when it comes to education. But every state has their issues when it comes to schools, because even Montgomery County had issues with their school system. But I will say Nevada, they're going through a hard time with having the teachers get paid more and so on and so on. So that is definitely a con. Do your research. I don't recommend the schools out here, but they are some pretty good schools. Not all of them are bad, but public schools are public schools. And if you want your kids to have a good education, definitely do your research before coming to Nevada. Another con is it is extremely hot here in the summertime. A lot of people wanted to come visit me, and I did have to aware them like summertime is not the best time. Between the months of, I would say, May and so right now it's still August, it is extremely hot outside. The highest I have seen Nevada get is 118 degrees, and I'm not kidding you. You're in a big ass air fryer. That is what it feels like. It's not fun. You can't enjoy the summertime really. So yes, the heat, it gets real hot out here. It is recommended that you get your car tinted. That is how hot it is. Another con is there's a lot of homelessness here, and although that is something that can't be controlled to an extent, it is bad. I've seen homeless, but this is bad. We're close to LA, which I know LA is worse, but it's an eyesore here, and I know where I live at, it's a lot of homeless people. I'm near the city, so it's expected, but there is a lot of homeless people here. Even when you branch out to the nicer areas, there's still a few of, you know, homeless people, and it's sad because they really don't have anywhere to go. And then there's a lot of druggies out here too, so it's like a mix of homeless and mix of druggies, and you really don't know who is, you know, what is what when it comes to trying to help the person, because you want to help but you don't want to help, and they go do something bad with the help, if that makes sense. So I don't really like speaking on that because I've been homeless before, but it's definitely bad here. Like, I don't know what Nevada is doing to help them, but they're definitely trying to keep them off the strip. They're definitely, I've seen them like vacate a lot of homeless people that do find like little spots to shelter in. And then like even in my complex, sometimes at the pool, they stash away over there. It's really bad. I have not experienced like seeing that in a minute, so it does make me sad seeing that. So eventually when my lease is up, I am going to relocate to a different area in Nevada. Another con is gas is extremely high out here. The highest I've seen gas was almost at $5, and I'm not kidding. This is when I first came out here last year in July. Gas was up there to $5. So it's still high. We got your $3.97s, and sometimes it goes up to $4. But girl, like, what am I gonna do, not get gas? So that is something to keep in mind. If you have cheap gas in your area, then if that's something that's important to you, then Nevada will not be the state for you. But I forgot to mention, how can I forget to mention this? A pro is rent is so cheap here. Rent is 10 times cheaper than where I was living. Maryland, DC area is just extremely expensive. That is one of the reasons why I relocated. It just was not working out for me back home. But I would touch bases with that on my, you know, branch off to Nevada and my series and all of that. And I'll give you guys some more detail, but it is really cheap here compared to a lot of other states. However, it is going up in pricing because a lot of Californians are moving here because California is expensive. So the price is not that bad, but it is on the rise. And Las Vegas is definitely on the rise with a lot of new ventures like the F1 race. They had the Super Bowl here. They have a lot of residencies. They done tore down a couple of casinos to build new casinos. So rent is going up, and a lot of people that are locals, that are Nevadians, are not liking it. It's just something to keep in mind. Like a 3-bedroom here can run you for like 15, sometimes 14, or up to like 18 depending on the area. And then, you know, back home, if I got a 3-bedroom, I'm spending like at least $2,500. So you do the math, you gotta do what works for you, but it was working for me, so that's why I kind of like jumped on that. Overall, I don't have too many cons, but I will say this: being here has definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things, and that it's okay to leave your hometown. Now, I do have my days where I miss home, I miss my friends and family, but Maryland wasn't doing me any good. So sometimes you have to put your big girl drawers on and make those changes in your life. Nevada has definitely treated me good so far. I have no regrets. Now, I do have my days, but it could be a lot worse. And definitely do your research. If you relocate to any new city, you definitely just want to make sure you look at things that you find may be a pro or a con, and things that would actually make a difference. Because when you move to a whole new state, you want change, and change is good. And that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about Nevada, I'm definitely gonna do some more videos. This was just a quick video. Those are pretty much the main pros and cons about living in Nevada for me. You know, like I said, the education sucks. There's no red light and speeding cameras. There are jobs everywhere when it comes to finding employment, and there's opportunities left and right. Also, you know, the weather is beautiful, but it can get extremely hot. So those are things that you have to kind of take into consideration when coming here. Cost of living is a lot cheaper. So yeah, those are pretty much most of the things that I wanted to let you guys know since being here, that I found interesting, and that I found, you know, being a pro and a con. So if you have any questions, definitely link them below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like I said, if you are interested in all things Vegas, beauty, lifestyle, fashion, this is the channel for you. And I will see you loves in my next video.